Welcome to your monthly energy update for November 2024. I am joined with the lovely ladies, Corey and Peyton, and I am Yaila. We will be kicking things off with Peyton. She channels messages from the Pleiadians. Then we will have Corey share her astrology report and pull some oracle cards. And then I will wrap up the reading with an intuitive collective reading that I do live as we speak. So, Peyton, how are we doing with the peas?
Thank you, Yaila. Hey guys, I'm Peyton and I channel the Pleiadians. And so kind of an interesting thing happened as I sat down this morning to channel this monthly message. And I decided I would just tap into the energies and just kind of see what I felt in the collective before I brought the peas in. And as I did that, everything went completely blank. And I was just telling Yaila this before we started filming, but there was just nothing. And it kind of freaked me out for a second. I'm like, what is going on? I got nothing. It was like looking at just a gray wall. And I'm like, what's going on, Pleiadians? Are we still alive? What is happening? So we are in for some interesting energies. These are energies like we've never ever felt before. So when I asked the P's kind of what was going on, why was I getting this just blankness as I started to read the collective energies, they did have some things that they wanted to help us understand about kind of where we are and what we're moving through right now. And the first thing they kind of pointed out was it's getting harder and harder for them to tell us what to expect or what we're going to see. Because as they like to remind us, we are starting to have two different complete realities on this planet. Actually, we have infinite realities, as we know, but what we're seeing is that there's more and more separation in the kinds of experiences that people are having. So, what they wanted to remind us is the experience we are going to have is going to depend on the timeline we're on. So they've been telling us this for years, how important it is to be on our timeline, stay focused on what we want to create, all that good stuff that we have heard them say time and time again. But now we're really seeing the results of that. So the more we hold our vibration, the more we are going to move through anything that happens in the external world more easily, more smoothly. So, what they wanted us to understand was to give us a little context because I know a lot of us and a lot of my clients and people I've been talking to have really been going through it over the past 2 months. It has been, well, it has been brutal. And so, what the P's kind of wanted to share with us is something major happened in the past month. And we made this major collective, what they're calling an adjustment to our timeline. And so, kind of one thing that happened is here in the US, we have gone through a series of, kind of weather situations, weather disasters, some very, very challenging weather events here in the States. And something happened as we started to collectively move through those events. And that's that a lot of the awakening community started to look at these events before they happened and start to take creative control over them, to start to go into their inner work, start to send love to anyone who was in the path of these disasters. And as a result of that, according to the Pleiadians, as an awakened community, we really stepped into our power. And we started to send love to the people who were in the path of these emergencies, to send them love, send them healing. And what happened is, according to the Pleiadians, we became much more powerful as an awakened community because everyone just kind of did this on their own. We didn't have a huge worldwide meditation. People just started to send love using their energetic tools all on their own. And so what happened is people started to realize the power that they actually have over their external reality. We started to realize that kind of in mass as light workers and starseeds, that we don't have to take these things that can look very, very devastating and just assume the worst case scenario. So we really, as an awakened community, kind of stepped into our power over the past month or so, starting to realize that we can kind of hope for the best intention for everyone, the best outcome for everyone. And in doing so, according to the Pleiadians, we collapsed some very destructive timelines. Because so many starseeds and light workers just did this on their own, just started to sit down and envision positive outcomes and to send love to people who might be in the path of danger. And what happens is we started to realize we can do that with our entire reality. So what happens is just by everyone kind of starting to send love, starting to visualize a best case scenario, we realize we have a lot more control over our reality than we think we do. So according to the P's, what happens is we started to open the door to our power over our reality in the past month. So even though it was still very challenging, and we still send our love and our prayers to everyone who was affected by some of these, really devastating storms, what happens is we also started to open the door to taking back creative control of our reality. And that's something that we're going to see ramping up as we move into the November energies, is realizing we have a lot more control over our reality than we thought we did. So that's something that the P's wanted to kind of share with us, that we managed to accomplish as an awakened community, is to start to steer things ourselves. Now, something else the P's wanted to kind of chat with us a little bit about, especially those of us in the US. We are, of course, in the heart of our election season. And so that, of course, is a very energized, let's just call it energized time for a lot of people. And so they wanted to offer us some perspective on this. If you find that you've gotten a little sucked into the drama, or maybe you find that you just have trouble, having, polite conversations with people these days, whenever this topic comes up, they wanted to offer us a little perspective on this and what they're encouraging us to do. Because when we are in these time periods in all of our countries where things get polarized and there's a temptation to pick sides, it's very tempting to slide into some denser timelines because, of course, we know 3D is just all about separation, choosing sides, making someone right and someone wrong, right? And that can be very, very tempting for the ego mind. But what the P's wanted to offer us was another way to look at this that they said would be more beneficial to us. So if you feel like you've gotten a little sucked into the drama, even if you were trying not to, then what the P's have encouraged us to do is focus on what we want to see in our structures, in our government system itself. Because as the P's point out, if the car has a flat tire, it doesn't matter who's driving it. And so they wanted us to kind of think about that as we started to put a lot of energy on particular people or on a particular party, because there's that inevitable slide into polarity, which just doesn't help us, right? So what the P's encouraged us as a little just perspective swap, I've got to stop talking, is to instead focus on what do you want out of your government in general. They encouraged us to start setting our intention to see freedom for everyone, equality for everyone, transparency and truth. They said, if we as a human collective could place our focus on what we want to see from the institution, instead of getting so polarized in focusing on individuals, they said we could make miraculous changes in our countries. And this goes not just for us, we just, in the US, happen to be in the thick of it right now. But if we can start to focus on what we want to see out of our systems as a whole, we can make radical changes in how these huge systems serve all of humanity without getting distracted by the separation that tends to derail us as we go through these election cycles. So the P's just wanted to offer us, if you start to get a little stressed out about what is going on or what may happen for us over the coming weeks, to think about this a little differently, to set your intention on seeing a government that serves everyone equally. Because when you do that, you step out of polarity. You don't have to worry about any particular person, but instead you're putting your focus on the end result you want to see, which is a system that serves us. Because remember, if the tire is flat on the car, doesn't matter who's steering it. So this is a way to sidestep that. So they just wanted to throw that out because They see all of us getting a little fired up and wanted to help us find maybe a little more beneficial way to look at it. And one thing that the P's always tell me when I'm tempted to slide into polarity on something is they always encourage me to set my intention for the most benevolent outcome for all. Because they say when you do that, you can't go wrong. Doesn't matter how it happens, you get the result you're after. So that can be something that I think would be very helpful to all of us if we took their suggestion on that. So if you feel you're getting a little sucked into that, maybe that little just change of perspective might help you out a bit. So as we move then into these November energies, they are going to be interesting, y'all. I have never seen energies that feel like this as we're going into them. So what the P's wanted us to know about them is November is all about neutrality. They said that the more we can stay in our heart, the more we can stay out of thought, out of ego mind, and even out of emotion, just popping around like ping pong balls in our emotion. They said the easier we're going to move through it, that we won't even be tugged into any drama that might be happening in the denser timelines. So neutrality is what we are striving for in November. That and always setting our intention for the most benevolent outcome for everyone. I just love to think what a future would look like if we all put our attentions on that, the best for everyone. So that is what the P's had for us in these sure to be exciting November energies. Corey, what does the astrology look like?
Thank you, Peyton, so much. Well, I think that the Pleiades are astrologers, quite honestly, because that's exactly what the astrology says, almost to a T. Just like last month, I coincided with the Pleiades. Just love this. So anyways, my name is Corey Davidson, and I will give you the intuitive astrology report. The energies are unbelievable. Unbelievable. They're very strong, and they're going to get stronger. So as the ladies and I have started taping this, I've had to run Reiki on my computer to make sure that it runs properly. There's a lot of energy going on, and there's going to be a lot of energy in November. Bing, bang, boom. That's how I read November's energy. Bing, bang, boom. It's explosive. But hopefully you've gotten used to it a little bit by now. I don't know. Does anybody ever get used to it? In any case. All right. So November 2024. First half of November is Scorpio season. That's water element. Manipulation, transformation, sex, willpower. Those are the energies of the first half of November. And then the second half of November is Sagittarius season. And that's the fire sign. Yep. That's Peyton, our token Sag. So yeah, I have 4 planets in Sag. So these energies for me, I like them. The Sag. Anyway, so second half of Sag. Gosh, say that 10 times fast. It's going to be like this the whole video for all of us. So Sag represents freedom and truth and higher knowledge and optimism. Okay. Sag is the philosopher, loves to have fun and play. So I'm grateful for this Sagittarius energy that we will have in November because we're going to need it. So on November 1st, straight off the bat, I mean, we are hitting the ground big time, running. It's explosive energy. This is a continuation from the last part of October. We have a new moon in Scorpio on the 1st. So generally it would be, the new moon in Scorpio would be about setting new intentions, But we have so many aspects to this new moon in Scorpio that it is explosive. So we will feel this new moon in Scorpio very strongly. It's going to be intense. There is going to be a battle of wills. And hang on to your hats. That's all I can say about the new moon in Scorpio. It's a battle of wills. So you might want to set an intention to just breathe. Just breathe through it. Because this will continue on in the beginning part of November. All of November is big. I've been talking about it for what, 2-3 years, moving into the Aquarian age. And we're in it. We're in it. I'm glad about that. And you should be too, actually. But that's big picture thinking. Sagittarius is a big picture, sees things in the big picture. And so Mercury is the mind and communication. So it is a great time to say what's on your mind, to speak your truth. However, as I always say with Sagittarius, with some experience, is Sagittarius can also have the open mouth insert foot syndrome. So make sure that by speaking your truth in your mind, you might want to take a breath first. Take that pause before speaking, as to be able to communicate your truth, but don't be tacky. Okay. Mars enters Leo on the 3rd, and this is very power-driven energy. Leo is fire. Mars is that output energy. And we have an aspect up until the 3rd, 4th, 5th that is very explosive. Yes, in the United States, we have our elections, if we have an election, and the energies are just so strong, so intense. So pause, breathe, get as close to your higher power, your spirit guides, your intuition, because that's what's going to get you through these days. Venus, on November 11th, Venus enters Capricorn. And this is a reality check. So it is the opportunity to build new structures, though Capricorn does represent tradition, old structures. But what is going on is we are breaking down the old structures. We've had Pluto and Capricorn breaking down old structures. So when Venus enters Capricorn, it is a great opportunity to build new structures, to think about new structures in your life. Because we're not really being given the choice, really, to hang on to those old structures anymore. I guess you could, but yeah, it won't be fun. It'd be like being drugged with a horse, tied to the saddle. No, thank you. On the 15th, Saturn goes direct in Pisces. So Saturn is the restrictor. Saturn is the principle. And going direct in Pisces is a water sign. We'll be able to move forward and ahead with less obstacles. I don't know about you. Well, I have natal Saturn in Pisces. So I'm in a Saturn return. So the obstacles that have been just by even walking to the car, talk about flat tires. Oh my gosh, that's so many car problems. And it really didn't matter who was driving. So with Saturn going direct in Pisces, we'll be able to move forward, move ahead with much less obstacles. And any reviewing or things that you've been working on since Saturn's been in retrograde, Pisces, spiritual, way of life, dreams, will now be able to become much clearer. Those things will become much clearer. Also on the 15th, we have a full moon in Taurus. And the full moon is about releasing. Taurus is really about the comforts, values, taking it slow and steady wins the race. Not this full moon. There are so many aspects to this full moon, which is Uranus, and which rules Aquarius, and that is quick, fast movement. The aspects to Uranus and the destructive star Algol. The aspects to these two, one planet, one star, it's again still that explosive, fast-moving. Taurus rules the Earth, Mother Earth. So we might experience some earthquakes or some explosive developments in the world. And since Taurus and Algol also represent wealth and money, more than likely there's going to be a big shift or a shakeup or maybe an implementation of financial changes. Because this is the part of tearing down of old structures and new ones coming up that we've been talking about for a very long time. November 19th, this is the big one. Pluto, the planet of transformation, will enter Aquarius for the next 20 years. So we've had Pluto and Capricorn's gone in and out of Aquarius. And that was the breaking down of top-down structures. We're now moving into that Aquarian age for the next 20 years. So the themes for this next approximate 20 years will be power to the people. And as the Pleiadians were saying, humanity. But it will also be revealing all the hidden secrets, like it did in Capricorn, because that's what Pluto's job is. In the areas of technology and science, digitalization, genetics, AI. There will also be amazing transformations and developments and discoveries in Aquarius. The areas where that Aquarius rules. And we are coming upon a changing of humanity for the better, to have more sovereignty. And like the Pleiades said, if we can focus on what we'd like our government to look like we'd like our world to look like, having power to the people, we will fare much better for these next 20 years. So, we will also at the same time, we'll be seeing the dark side, with science and social atrocities, because society is Aquarius. And it will all be in the name of advancement. So this is the birth of the human that we've been talking about. We've said, do your inner work. It's so important, do the shadow work, right? And it is for this moment on November 19th. So this is a birth of a new human, you know, whether you choose to do it through a scientific method or a natural method of evolution. Having the opportunity to unlock our previously unused genetics and DNA. So this is a huge shift. When Pluto changes signs, it is a huge shift on the world stage. The last time that Pluto really changed signs was in 2008 when we had the stock market crash. So guaranteed there will be a big, huge shift because that's what Pluto does. So the upgrading of human consciousness is ahead of us for the next 20 years. So as the Pleiades said, imagine a world that you want to live in, because it can be transformed into that Pluto transformation. And always have your discernment in your pocket ready to use, because we'll need it. The challenges that we had, Pluto and Capricorn, was top-down structures. Anything that was corrupt, there wasn't any hidden secrets, were revealed. So we had to determine, you know, what's true, what's not true, what works, what doesn't work. And that is the job of Pluto. Death and rebirth for transformation. So the areas of Aquarius is what that will be happening for the next 20 years. But in that, we can transform the things that we want in that particular Aquarius areas. So huge shift. 21st, Sun moves into Sagittarius. So our life force energy is living in truth. And hopefully with some optimism of some new discoveries and some new knowledge while traveling to new lands. And then, of course, on the 25th, Mercury is going to go retrograde in Sagittarius. So it's a great time to reinvent yourself, to research new possibilities, new philosophies, new lands. So I'm going to pull some cards. I pulled a couple of them before we started filming because my section's always astrology, can't get through it really fast. So the first card that I did pull, the crystal card, is Tiger Iron. So these are the energies that can support us for November. And it says, feel safe and protected. Improve self-esteem and confidence. Dissipate jealousy. Extend blessings and goodwill to others. Doesn't get more Aquarian than that. And increase philanthropic actions. So it can't make this stuff up. I'm grateful for other people's good fortune. It brings me joy to see others experience happiness. And so this is really like, it doesn't get more Aquarian than this. Being happy for others, supporting one humanity. Okay. I love that. And then from a numerology, it's 2 fell out. 1 is new beginnings. Pluto going into Aquarius. As I've said, we are tearing down old structures to create the new world. And so that will be happening. Pluto's going to move into Aquarius. New beginnings. Can't make that stuff up. And then it's interesting because The second one was 16, rebirth. We are rebirthing a new earth, a new world, new systems. Power to the people. That's what Aquarius is all about. And 6 and 1 is 7. 7 is the number of the Godhead. 7 is the number of good luck. So keep that in mind to support you for November. And then one last card. It's from the Angels and Ancestors deck. Oh, all right. Mother Earth. I just love energy work. I love all modalities of it. Mother Earth. Feel loved and comforted. So even know that Mother Earth too is upgrading, is shedding all the things that no longer serve her. And there might be earthquakes. There might be more weather. Still, remember that Mother Earth is still there to comfort you and want you to know that Mother Earth does love each and every being that's on this planet and every single element that makes up planet Earth. And so when times get really tough, because they're going to in November, remember how much Mother Earth loves you and return that love by making good, positive visualizations. Stay in that love frequency. As I always say, hang on to your hats because we're moving into that Aquarian age. So, Yaila, what have you got?
We'll find out. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you so much, ladies. I definitely resonate with what you both have shared. And if you have tuned into our videos before, or if not, I just tap into the collective energy as we record this video. So I will have my eyes closed from time to time. But let me just tap into your energy, those of you tuning in. And I always like to ask for a blessing, creative all that is. Please bring forth the information and any healing for your highest and best good. Please guide me with clarity and accuracy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. The most predominant color I'm getting for the collective is this beautiful, like amethyst purple color. So let me just tap into what that is sharing. The biggest energy that is represented for that is divine downloads, is what I'm hearing. So it's really holding and operating your crown energy, your connection to your higher self, higher wisdom, higher guidance, God, source, creator, whatever that higher power is that you resonate with and connect in with. And you are going to be getting a lot of divine downloads for the month of November. So very, very exciting. So let me just see if there's any other colors that want to stand out. A little bit of green in there, but most of that purple. So I always like to ask, what is helpful to know? What can we watch out for? And any other final messages to be shared with you. So let me just ask, what is helpful to know for the month of November 2024? I'm hearing the phrase like taking it in stride or taking it in spades. I've kind of heard like a combination of the two. So it feels like whatever hand is being dealt to you, take it in stride, take it with, take it in spades, meaning no matter what shows up, you can always create a positive outcome for yourself. So that's helpful to know. No matter how swirly or whirly the people around you get, you will be able to take it in stride. You'll be able to take it one thing at a time. You'll be able to focus in one thing at a time. And Peyton, I loved when you brought up how the Pleiades mentioned how a lot of the collective energy just on their own sending love and light and prayers to those different places. I know I did that for Florida when they had the Hurricane Helene, and then Milton came right after it, literally within days. I just remember thinking like, oh my goodness, it was like a huge category 5. And I just remember sending so much love. And I know I wasn't the only one. And just to see that go from a 5 to a category 2, and the devastation that we saw with the first hurricane was nothing compared to that second wave. So I guarantee you that is those of you who tune in that sent that love and light to those areas, and any other areas where you're seeing improvements, that is something that we can keep doing. So that's a great example of no matter what is being thrown to us, we can take it in stride. We do actually have more of a say with that. So I love how you both tapped into just that energy. We get to create, no matter what's thrown at us, we get to create beyond that. So let me just ask, what else is helpful to know for the month of November? What's helpful to know is your intuition will be heightened. And I think that's what that purple color, those divine downloads that were being represented with that. And it feels like it's starting, we're filming here at the end of October. People are starting to feel more in tune, more intuitive. They're starting to be more perceptive with those little nuances around the world, with people, places, and things, and different energy. And you're starting to see the truth within yourself, if you're speaking your truth, if you're sharing your truth, or vice versa, if other people are also in their truth. You feel it on an energetic level now. And if you're not operating in that truth, you also feel that. So maybe those little white lies that used to be easy to do, you're noticing like, oh my gosh, I can't even, I can't even say like a stupid little white lie because it just feels so off in your body. Just know that your intuition is going to be heightened, and it's going to put you at this higher level of integrity is what I am hearing. And you will feel that from the world around you. So that's helpful to know. So just know that you can trust what your intuition, what your gut instincts, what your body, what your energy is showing you and telling you. You can trust that. So let me see what to watch out for November. I was going to walk before we started recording, and my guides kind of start popping in some information on my walks, and they just kept repeating earth, air, and water. Earth, air, water. So Corey, when you were mentioning, Mother Earth and Earth energy and like all those different things, it was kind of pinging when you were saying that too. But something to watch out for too is your connection to earth, air, and water. How much sunshine are you getting? What kind of foods are you putting in your body? What kind of water are you drinking? What are you putting into the water? What are you putting into the earth? What are you putting out there in the air? What are you speaking out loud? All those things tie into earth, air, and water. So just know, kind of going back to those little white lies don't work anymore. Same thing when it comes to earth, air, and water. So drinking water that's not the best for you is not going to feel good. Saying those things out loud that don't support you or other people aren't going to feel as good. Saying, untruths are not going to feel good. Eating foods that are not nourishing for your body are going to feel really, really crappy. So having that disconnection from Mother Nature, you're going to feel that if you're not out and about in Mother Nature and connecting in more of a sacred way for yourself. You're going to feel that. So what you can do is connect to fresh air, some sunshine, clean water, good healthy foods, putting your feet on the ground, like grass or sand or even just dirt, getting your hands dirty in earth, like re-establishing that connection is going to help you stay grounded as you are getting these downloads. I'm also hearing possibly more solar flares being enacted on the planet. I know we just had that a few weeks ago, and that kind of made people a little swirly. Your sleep could be off. So things that can help you stay grounded is connecting in a sacred way to earth, air, and water in all aspects. If that makes sense, how I'm describing that. Hopefully that came out clear. Let me see if there's any last messages for you, the collective, for November 2024. That word sacred is really being highlighted right now. So what is sacred to you? And think of it in all different categories of your life. What are the friendships that are sacred to you? What is about those connections that feel sacred? What is it about what you do in the world that feels sacred? It feels like that's going to be amped up here, not just for November, but throughout the rest of the year. We're starting to get clued in more and more on how we want to focus our energy and how we want to focus our time and just our complete focus, period. So, what is sacred to you? Because that is going to be amplified. And I love that in connection to how do we want our societies? This has come through on several readings of what communities would you like to see around you? What would you like to be a part of? What would you like to see different in our school systems for our kids? What would you like to see in the workforce environment? What would you like to see for our financial structure, our political structure, our healthcare systems? Like, how would you like those things to be different? And what would feel sacred and honoring to you and the people that you care about? So these are really great things to think about and focus on because that will be amplified as we're stepping into that Aquarian age. Love Aquariuses. I am one myself, but we're about future thinking. We're about humanity. We're about the collective, but we're also about revolution, and we're also about technology and those things that improve the collective. So we have the power to tap into that energy and think about what's sacred for you in your life and how you want to focus and spend your energy. Let me see if there's any last little things. It's funny because I'm getting nervous in this reading, which I normally don't get. So it feels like collectively, energy-wise, we might feel really anxious and really nervous and almost like we have to force certain things to happen. That is not true. You want to, again, connect back to your breath, connect back to the earth, and just settle in with where you're at in the present moment because we're always being guided to our highest and best good, and you can trust that. So that is what I have for the month of November. Ladies, do you all have anything else you want to add? No?
No.
Okay. Well, that is a wrap. We will see you next month. Thank you again for your likes, your shares, your comments. We always love to see and hear how our messages are supporting you and helping you and what you get from the readings. So we will see you next month in December for the December Energy Report. Have a great month, you guys. We'll see you soon. Bye. Welcome to your November energy update. I am joined with the beautiful ladies inside and out, Peyton and Corey, and I am
And so it starts.
Here it goes.
Oh my God, Corey, I missed your laugh. It just brings me joy. Oh, and so that's your November energy report.
We're doing great.
Right?
We're doing great.
Nothing weird at all.
No.
I was so confident too when I started.
You had a good 3 seconds.
I think I might be in for a role of editing for this video.
Put the laughs in there though, will you? I know you will. I mean, come on now.